Good evening, everyone. Good evening, what the poop? Hold on, y'all. Sorry. All right, that's better. How is everyone doing this evening? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We are live. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I hope everyone is having a blessed, excuse me, evening. And I had to come on here tonight because I wanted to talk about a few things. I wanted to talk about Roe v. Wade. I wanted to talk about your rights as citizens and to discuss a few other things. And yeah, I do. And I wanted us to engage in a conversation. So I want you all to come on in. I am going to make sure that everyone is. Are you serious right now? I'm hot, y'all. It's burning hot in Texas. I don't know what's going on. But anywho, it is extremely hot out here in these Texas streets. So anyway, we're gonna get started. I was waiting for a few waiting for a few people to get on, but I'm gonna get started because I wanted to go and relax for a little bit. Okay. This past few days, the Supreme Court of the United States decided to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, if you know, Roe v. Wade is Roe v. Wade was a 1973 ruling for a woman to have an abortion, and she was in the state of Texas, and the attorney general, and in that state, abortion was illegal. Her situation, she needed to have an abortion, so she went against the attorney general and took it to the Supreme Court, of the United States. They voted that it was her privacy; she can have her abortion. Well, 50 years later, we are here. We are here, and we are trying to figure out what to do. Well, I went and pulled up the ruling, which you can go to their website and pull it up, read it at your leisure. Let me first say this: I am not a lawyer. I am not in law school. I not a politician, even though I love politics now. So I just want to give you all a little bit of information. Okay. I'm going to read the conclusion of this ruling, and then we're going to double back and talk about some other stuff, okay? It says, well, before I do that, the ruling was 215 pages. 80 pages of this ruling was opinions. So here we go. We're going to start with, as it says at the ending. We end this opinion where we began. Smith portion presents a profound moral question. The Constitution does not prohibit the citizens of each state from regulating or prohibiting Smith portion. Roe and Casey aggregate that portion. We now overrule those decisions and return the authority to the people and their elected officials, representatives rather. I'm going to read that again. We now overrule those decisions and return that authority to the people and their elected representatives. So what that is saying to me is the Supreme Court of the United States, the head honcho of the Supreme Courts, of the courts over the land, has removed themselves out of their equation. They are not going to do any rulings on it. They don't want to discuss it or anything. that is for us, the people, me, you, Susie, May, Johnny, and whomever else, to take it up with our elective officials. Well, we have an election coming up. And in that election, we have some choices to make, right? We need to understand this is not just about abortion rights. This is about women's rights to choose to do what she wants to do with her body. And if you're going to if you want representatives in the Congress, in the Senate, in your attorney generals, your DAs, you have to elect these people into office that has women's reproductive rights, your gun rights, all that at the forefront of their legislative duties. So it's up to us as the people, to elect these individuals into office. Now, whether or not you do that, that is on you. But then you can't get upset if these individuals do not rule or legislate in your favor. Correct? Correct. All right. So we know that in this ruling, everybody, first of all, I think it was March, when the draft was leaked to the people. We knew that this was a possibility that it was going to be overturned. And guess what? It happened. I was not shocked. I was not surprised by it because of the leak that came out. I believe it was March. Neither here nor there. It was overturned. Now we have people up in an uproar. But as the ruling states, and I'm going to say it again, we now overrule those decisions and return the authority to the people and their elected representative. So to me, as the people, we need to put people in office that have our best interests at heart, correct? All right. Now, I'm going to say this, and I want everybody else, I want y'all to listen to me and listen to me clearly. It is not just the abortion rights that's at the table. It's a whole bunch of other things. But I want y'all to listen to something before I go on. I'm going to share this clip of Hillary Clinton. Can y'all hear that?
I warned about it in the campaign. I could see that the man I was running against would literally do anything to get the votes of the extreme faction of the Republican Party who were willing to totally upend precedent and deny women their rights. So I did warn about it, but it's hard to warn in the abstract. And I think a lot of people would say, well, that'll never happen. This opinion is dark. It is incredibly dangerous. And it is not just about a woman's right to choose. It is about much more than that. And
so Hillary Clinton warned us way back in the day about women's rights and this opinion and having Trump in office to appoint Supreme Court justices. He was able to put Supreme Court justices in there too that were against Roe v. Wade. They lied under oath to the Senate committee. They said they wouldn't vote against it because they believe that it's a woman's rights, But in this opinion, they were all for it. So they lied under oath, and I believe something should be done with that. But that's neither here nor there, because there's nothing I can do, because they was appointed to this, and it's a lifetime appointment, and there's nothing that we can do as citizens of the United States as far as that concerned. But you can impeach a sitting justice. You can. It's hard, but you can impeach them. All right, just an FYI. All right, so now that we got that out the way, let me inform you that it's not just your abortion rights. Now, Texas, the state that I live in, is going after same-sex marriages, voting rights, and segregation. That's what Texas is going after. And don't get it twisted, other states as well. Alabama, Arkansas, is it Arkansas? So these other states, Florida, they are all after stuff to take away your rights, your privacy, your laws, your right to have same good education, whatever. And with that being said, so you need to protect yourself. If you are part of the LGBTQIA community, let me tell you this now, and I want you to listen to me, because it's coming down the pipelines. I did so much research this past couple of days trying to make sure I inform you correctly. In Texas, and also up there in the Senate and Congress, but I know for sure in Texas, they are now writing legislation to overturn same-sex marriages. They want to do away with it. They are on that. So if you are married in the state of Texas or any of these other states, and you have children, let's say one of you all got pregnant, y'all had a baby, or you had a surrogate and y'all was on the birth certificate, one of you has to adopt in order for you to be legally responsible for that child. Meaning, if I had a baby and I had a wife, the baby came out of me, so I'm the biological mother. On the birth certificate, it may say other mother. By this new law that's coming out, they could take the other mother completely off, and she will not have any say in my child's upbringing, school, doctor, anything, unless they adopt her. That's coming, y'all. It's there. It is there. They've been doing this underhanded stuff for the longest time, trying to get it. They knew it was coming, and they have been working on this. And believe me when I tell you, Texas had a trigger law for when this abortion right, this overturning came. As soon as it came, that trigger law came in effect. So if you have an ectopic pregnancy, if you were raped and had a scheduled appointment to have a abortion, no longer can. Not in Texas and other, I think it's like 10 other states as well. Crazy, right? But let me go back to the LGBT community. So with that taken, yes, what'd you say? A trigger law, Renita. A trigger law is, you know how you got to get ready for something, and what they did was they knew this ruling was coming down. They already knew that they was going to overturn Roe v. Wade by the leak that came out in March. So what they did, they started writing legislation saying that as soon as that law was overturned and it was published for the American people and them, they knew probably like a few hours before we did, their law went into effect. So that meant as soon as the Supreme Court of the United States said, we're overturning it, we're going to leave it to the people and the elected officials, they came out and said, you cannot no longer have an abortion in Texas. As soon as that law came out, by midnight, that law was in effect. By midnight that same day, that law went into effect. So we cannot have an abortion in the state of Texas right now. In other states. But we're gonna circle back to that too. We're gonna circle back to that. Also with that in Texas. Now listen, I am looking for Virginia because I know my best friend lives in Virginia. I'm looking for Florida because I have friends that live in Florida, California. Really not California, but I'm looking for their laws too. So we all could be on the same page of what your law is for your state as far as what I'm talking about. Abortions and same-sex marriages. Now, let me go back to the same-sex marriages. Because even here in Texas, they, like I said, they've been writing this legislation. They have it. It's on their website, texasgop.org. Look it up. The Republican Party is nullifying the unconstitutional ruling Overfell versus Hodges. They want it to be thrown out. This is in a court case that made gay marriage legal in America. So even though Clarence Thomas, your Supreme Court justice, said that's what they're coming for next, Texas is already putting in a ruling to have it overturned. So again, if you're married to a man and you're a man, a woman and woman, get a durable power of attorney. Get a durable power of attorney. Get it notarized by a lawyer. Put everything in there: medical, financial, estates, everything. Get it done as soon as possible. Because when this law comes out, if they do it before November, this law comes out, y'all won't have any rights for your house, your children. You need to adopt your children. If you, like I said, if I was pregnant and had the baby and it's our child, but I'm on the birth certificate and she was on there as the other mother, they could take her off. So you have to cover yourself. Even for adopt your child, adopt them. This way you can take care of yourself. Then they are also doing the voting. I gotta put my glasses on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I give you right stuff, and I can't see a lick of nothing. Excuse me. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, which was and still is a landmark decision that you cannot prohibit someone from voting based on their race. They want that gone. So with that being gone, that means if you go to the polls and they tell you you're Black, you can't vote. You're Hispanic, you can't vote. You're indigenous, you cannot vote. Guess what? You cannot vote if that law is overturned. And that's what they are coming after next. Your elected officials, people, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, IG, y'all need to understand your elected officials are the ones that can control this. And I'm gonna go back to my paper. The Equal Rights Amendment that allows equality for all, meaning men and women are created equal. They want that gone because they said it should have ended in 1979. How now? Look, in that it had a kind of, it should have been ended in 1979. However, we kept it going. It was never revisited or something like that. But that means that if these people right here decide that they don't want women to be equal, we won't be equal. Not just Black, brown, and indigenous people, but women, all women, even white women. Look what they have done with this Roe v. Wade. Oh, let me show y'all my shirt. It says "My Vagina, My Rules." I got this shirt from my goddaughter. She sold them. Good. It's my vagina, my rules. I'm gonna do what I want to it. But now with this whole thing, if they do these laws the way they want to do them now, women, Black, brown, and indigenous people will not have any rights to anything. We will go back to the way things were. Now, if you look at the Constitution, everything in the Constitution, your voting rights, your equal opportunities, your women rights, the abolishment of slavery, all those had to be amended and put into the Constitution, right? Only thing about the Constitution, it always protected white men through everything. It was always protection of white men. But now all of those laws, those amendments that was amended into the Constitution may be taken away. But what is my saying, y'all? If y'all know me, what have I always said? We the people are more powerful than the people in power. Until you in us realize that we are more powerful than them people in power and we can move them out the way and put somebody in there that will have all our rights under the law protected, we need to start now, today, yesterday, as a matter of fact. So not only that, but they're coming for Brown versus the Board of Education. Do y'all know what that is? Brown versus the Board of Education is it demolished segregation. It got rid of segregation in schools. They united the schools. Whites and blacks could go to school together. What's his name? Clarence Thomas told y'all what they're coming after next. Your elective officials can make sure it doesn't affect your state. Whomever you elect, if they don't have your best interest at hand, vote them out, put somebody in there that can. Now, back to this. My LGBTQIA plus community, if you're in a long-term relationship, get married now. Right now. If y'all been together 5 years, get married. That'll help you too. That'll protect you too. I told you if you have children, adopt your children because one of you will not be considered legally able to do anything when it comes to that child as far as school, medical, or anything else. So adopt. Also, get a durable power of attorney for each other and for your children. That way, you're covered in all aspects. LegalZoom does durable power of attorneys. They do will and trust. Get it all done. It might cost you a little bit of money, but it'll protect you in the end. My Black, brown, and indigenous people, I cannot never say that word right. Let me talk to you all for a minute. I know this economy is crazy. I know we don't know, we might have to rob people to pay Paul. But if you can buy land, buy it now. Buy land now. It'll help you out in the long run. I'm gonna tell you why. This way that you can, how can I put it? You can grow your crops, your fruits, your vegetables, your water. You'll have that, and it'll sustain you. You can even build on your land. If you get an acre or 2 acres of land, keep it. Get it now. If you can buy a home, I know prices are high or whatever. If you can buy a home, buy one now. Or if your credit ain't too good, rent to own. They do have programs for people with bad credit that do rent to own. Get with a good realtor and they can help you out. You can rent to own, and that will help you. And it has to be in the clause that the money that you are using to rent is that these people are helping you build your credit and will sell to you after a year or two. In the contract. It has to be in the contract. That is going to help you in the long run. I'm just giving you a little snippets of what I've been researching and what I found to help everybody, especially my people. Black women, black men. I don't want to say we don't have a dog in this fight, but we got a dog in this fight. Black women have been treated like horribly when it comes to labor and delivery, medical, and all that. We have like one of the highest, we have the highest death rates when it comes to birth. Because they don't consider us what is the word I'm looking for? They don't consider us valuable. You have to take care of yourself. And another reason why this abortion law is so high, I think I did it a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when I had said that the abortion rate between white, black, brown, and indigenous women, the whites were higher than anybody else. They are losing their superiority over everybody because white women are having abortions at a higher rate and they want to keep their white people going. But I saw a clip on TikTok yesterday that had me, child, I laughed so hard, it was funny. The guy said that white men sit this one out. If we want to get the law Roe v. Wade back on the books, back into law, white women, black men, have at it. How did these white women start having these black and brown babies? They would have a straight fit and put that law back on the books. They would. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying that's what the man said on the TikTok. But I want us to be aware of things that we have going on and things that we need to do to protect ourselves. Young people, I want y'all to hear me. Y'all always say your vote doesn't matter. Your vote matters more now than it ever did. If you want to keep your rights in this country, you got to go vote. You have to vote. You have to know who has your best interest at heart before you go to that poll. Just don't be marking anything. Go vote. And then make sure that these representatives do what they're supposed to do for the people. Not just to line their pockets, but for the people. Y'all, Cootie, get out of the way. I'm sorry, the dog, he just... Anyway. Y'all have to seriously vote. Vote. I know Texas is a Republican state. I know Florida is a Republican state. Georgia are Republican states. If you want change, you have to be the change. This ruling that was put forth by the Supreme Court was only the beginning. And you have to understand that they're coming for everything that our forefathers and ancestors wanted for us. What Martin Luther King protested for, what Rosa Parks sat for, everything that these people did so we can have women's rights, voting rights, segregation, and all this stuff, They are taking all of that away. They are coming for everything. We will go back to I don't know, before my father was born. Well, around the same time my father was born. Because what? 1965, right? This is only 2022. It hasn't been that long. So if you want change, we have to start now. Don't wait. Find out what your senator. This is where you go. Your police chiefs, your mayors, your DAs. You want the right DA in your city and state. Your attorney generals, your governors, your councilmen and councilwomen, your state representatives, your senators, and your House of Representatives in your state. Then your state and House of Representatives on the federal level. But you start locally. Like, we have a big election coming up. This will determine the next 2 years of this, how this place is going to go in November. And the Republicans are doing everything they can to take our rights away. Now, listen, I don't vote Democrat or Republican. I go for whomever is doing right for the people and whatever their policy is. So I'm not Democrat, nor am I a Republican. I go with policy. I believe in policy, and I want to work whatever policy is best interest in my beliefs, my children's, that's going to help them in the long run. Those are the people that I vote in office. I voted for Biden. Yes, I did, because I needed Orange Man out of there. I needed him to go, and it was the lesser of the two evils. So I did that. But he's running for 2024, and we do not need him back in office, because if that happens, baby, listen, I'm moving to Canada, Belize, Europe, somewhere. I'm not gonna stay here. You think it's bad now? It'll get even worse then. So now, did you know that the Supreme Court removed themselves out of the arguments of Roe v. Wade, abortion, women's rights, women's privacy, private parts? They put it into us and our elected officials. You have that right to vote who you want to in to help protect your rights. And let me tell y'all now, VA, y'all have a law coming out too. I mean, my friend has her children out of school. Well, all the other ones that have children in school, be ready. They coming for y'all children. They gonna try to segregate y'all kids next. I know in Texas, it's in there. It is in there. And before I go, one more thing. I want y'all to listen to me. Read in between the lines if you can. There are going to be places where you can go for safely. Amazon has Plan B for cheap. Amazon has Plan B for cheap. Nevada, if you are there by chance and get a real bad hangover and you need somewhere to go, they got you. They'll help you recover before you go home. Washington State, if you're traveling and you need to stop over and stay over there for overnight, they got you covered. There's going to be a lot of things that we have to do to protect ourselves, and I hope you all are ready and willing and able to adjust and fight for your beliefs and what you love in this country. That is it. That's all I have. Y'all all have a great day. I'm going back to my little sabbatical unless something else comes up. I love you all, and you all have a blessed and wonderful evening. Bye-bye.